I'm here in the studio right now with Maria Olsen from Jackson. Maria, thank you very much for coming in today.
You're welcome.
You have a son named AJ?
I do.
How old is AJ?
He is 9.
What kind of kid is he?
He is funny and sports orientated and loves video games and TV and hanging out with his family, going on vacation. Just a typical kid.
And who are his favorite teams?
Oh, that's a tough one. He loves the Eagles for football.
Not a fan.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Still like AJ.
Oh,
Not the
good.
Eagles.
And you'll probably won't like that he loves the Mets.
I'm a Mets fan.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
I like AJ even more now.
Yeah. Mets fan.
I look forward to meeting him.
Yeah.
I know he couldn't be here today. Is he in school?
He is.
That's great. So he's still going to school.
He does. He missed all of 2nd grade, and then 3rd grade. He made the majority of it, and then we just started 4th grade.
Now, AJ's 9 years old. What kind of cancer does he have?
He has acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL for short.
And that affects
the blood.
the blood.
Yes. So his blood turned cancerous. It overrun the healthy cells and became cancerous, which is life-threatening.
We're going to talk about Ocean of Love, how they came into your life, what they've done for you. But that day, almost 2 years ago, you said he was originally diagnosed with cancer. How did it all happen?
We were living a normal life. AJ was in lots of sports camps, and he started soccer for rec, and his dad was his coach. And he ran the first practice, but the second practice, he just started complaining. I can't run. I can't. My stomach hurts. I feel really lightheaded. I just want to get rid of all my sports equipment. I don't want to do this anymore. Throw it all away. And as I was giving him baths and things, I started nosing bruises and just some things that shouldn't belong. I mean, at one point he had fingerprints from when I grabbed him to not go into the street, and my fingerprints were sitting on his arm. And at that point I realized, okay, there's something really wrong here. And so I called his pediatrician, and she sent us for labs on a Monday morning. And Tuesday morning I got a phone call at 6:30 saying that we needed to go to the hospital, that his counts were through the roof and some were plummeting through the floor. And we went to Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick. And the ER doctor, about an hour or two into our stay at the ER, pulled me out and told me that AJ had cancer and that he was going to admit us.
Feel it in the back of your mind?
I didn't. I knew we were going to be there because his blood counts were so bad that he was needing transfusions, but never did I think that my kid would have cancer.
That's one of the reasons why we like to talk to the families, get the story out there, because you're just like every other family, living your life every day where everything's fine one day, and then next thing you know, you're living with cancer in your life.
Yeah, it was life-altering.
It can happen to anybody.
It can, and it changes your perspective. I have 3 other children that their life had to keep going.
What are their names? We got to give them a little love.
Yeah, Lily is 12. And then we have Nathan, who's 7, and Thomas, who's 3.
The other kids in your family, they have to keep living their life.
They do. And part of Ocean of Love, they provide that ability to keep some normalcy. They have provided a counselor at one point for AJ because he was struggling with how much cancer had changed his life, with not being able to play sports, not being able to walk, losing his hair, not going to school. I mean, there was a lot of changes for him that he had to figure out how to deal with them. And Ocean of Love provided him a counselor that he could then go to and tell his heart story and kind of figure out how to deal with what had happened to him. When I bring my kids to Ocean of Love, they fill them up with snacks and treats and toys.
Sugar them up.
Oh, yeah. And they love it. It's so wonderful. They provide Easter baskets, and they've given us Christmas. AJ was diagnosed in September, so Christmas was like 2 months away, and there was no way that we could have provided the kids Christmas. And Ocean of Love helped to provide Christmas presents for everyone, including my husband and I. I stay home with 4 kids, and then with AJ having cancer, working wasn't something that was on the horizon. And to be honest, I love staying home and taking care of the family, keeping things working, and it's provided me the opportunity to find ways to support other people by making dinners and providing that support to other families that are around me that are dealing with cancer or other life problems.
So while you're getting help from Ocean of Love, you're also giving help back to other families who are also getting help from Ocean of Love as well.
Yes, there are several families actually that I have met through Ocean of Love that live in my town that we've been able to connect and, share stories and share support and help other people when they get a diagnosis. Hey, there's this support that you should totally take advantage of. They will help you through the thick and thin. They'll check in on you. They will help you find resources that you didn't even know existed.
You're only a year and a half, 2 years into this.
Yes.
And the way you're talking to me, it's like you've been dealing with this for 10 years.
Well, we have a year and 3 months roughly left for AJ's treatment. He gets spinal taps every 3 months. He gets IV chemo every month. He gets a 5-day run of steroids every month. He gets a weekly by mouth chemo, and he takes a daily chemo. So the battle in our house is a daily constant. I never know when he gets up. Are we going to school today? Are we staying home? Just this last week, he woke up and he ate breakfast and then threw it all up because he just wasn't feeling it and laid on the couch for a couple of hours in the morning until he could finally, yeah, Mom, I'm ready. I can go. And that's how our life is. It's very unpredictable. And so you have to decide that that's what your life is and embrace it and find the joy in midst of the sorrow.
Do you remember going back a year and a half, 2 years ago when Ocean of Love first came into your life?
I do. Actually, I had just met a friend from Jackson and her son was fighting cancer, and we had come in contact through, I think, social media or something. And she had said, "Have you heard of Ocean of Love?" And I went, "Like the ocean?" And she's like, "No, there's this charity called Ocean of Love." And she sent me, actually, it was the billboard ad, and she sent it to me. And she's like, "Here, they're doing this big billboard and the radiothon, and you should get in contact with them." And so I sent an email to Ocean of Love and, kind of gave them the synopsis, and they contacted me within 24 hours. And from that moment on, I had a liaison that called me every week to check in and make sure that everything was fine. If there was something that I needed, a car payment or gas cards or groceries or anything, they don't hesitate to ask, was how they approached everything. And it was beautiful.
We're talking with Maria Olsen from Jackson. She's here in the studio. Her son, AJ, 9. What is the one thing that really stands out that Ocean of Love has done for you? I know you mentioned a couple things, car payments, groceries, Christmas. Is there one thing that really stands out that just totally blew you away?
It would have to be the counselor for AJ. One of the pieces of cancer that never came to my mind was the emotional impact that it would have on, at that point, a 7-year-old boy. And he actually ran away from home at one point. He got really angry and mad and packed a bag, got on his bike with his helmet, and headed up the street. And I chased him and got a hold of him and held on to him. And, I told him, "Son, I love you. And I know that this sucks, that cancer is not fair. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what you do, what color you are. It doesn't care." He turned around and he came back, and he and we had a moment. And the next day I got on the phone and I called Ocean of Love and I cried and I said, "I don't know what to do." And she said, "Well, we have a counselor. Let's get AJ in here and let's get him talking and let's make sure he doesn't run away again." And wow. The overwhelming feeling of peace of, okay, there are people there that care enough that they're not going to laugh at me. They're not going to make fun of me when I say, I don't know what to do with my child. He's suffering in a way that I can't even understand. And he went and he got the counseling he needed. And he still has his moments. That for me was one of the moments where I knew that no matter what happened, Ocean of Love was going to be there, that they were going to support my family and my son through the thick and the thin.
What do you think your life would be like without Ocean of Love?
I don't think I want to think about that. It's not the gas card. It's not the Christmas. It's not the material things that make them so integral. It's that they're one of the only organizations that I have found that supports the family wholly. It supports them physically, financially, emotionally, all of that. They are all encompassing. And so when you meet them and you get involved with them, it's not just because of the money. It's because they care about making sure you make it through no matter what happens, through your loss, through their survival, through the bravery, all of it. That's their whole goal, is to make the family whole. And I don't think anyone should have to go through it. But if they do, I would love every county to have an Ocean of Love, because that's what people deserve. And that's what people should see, is that it's a loving, all-encompassing organization.